kids at home who are supposed to be in the university, who are supposed to be in school, and they have been at home. Are you worried? Are you concerned about the future of your kids? I'm sure you definitely are. Now, those of you who have children in the public universities, you're probably worried and thinking you don't even know when your children are going to school, back to school. You don't know what these kids are doing at home. Sometimes you're worried because, well, you know how they say the idle mind is a devil's workshop. These young ones these days, with the way that the world is going and the way that, things are happening, anything can happen, right? They themselves are not happy that they're not in school. What happened to them? Nigeria happened to them. Let's face the facts. The country has happened to a lot of young people who should have been graduating, looking for jobs and looking for what to do with their lives, are stuck, not knowing what to do and where to go. Because, what if they go back, get something today, and then tomorrow they have to go back to school? There's so much uncertainty in the minds of young people who are in school. Some people just enrolled. They haven't been a day in class, and the strike happened. That's for, even postgraduate students. Some have been, I saw the video of a young man who said that, he's in school and his ID card has graduated before him, because for a 4-year course that had from so-and-so year to so-and-so year, 4 years on the card, he is still in school while the card is expired. That's the plight of many Nigerian students. But guess what? Those who should be fixing this seem unperturbed. Which is why a lot of Nigerians are concerned. Look at the fact that the whole educational sector is almost grounded. The colleges of education in the country has given a 21-day ultimatum to the federal government over lingering industrial disagreements. Rising from a National Executive Council meeting, the Colleges of Education Academic Staff Union, Asuu, berated government for being unaware of colleges of education despite the union's entreaties. The union ultimatum began Monday, May 9, 2021. Now, a communique issued at the end of the meeting, signed by the president of the union, Dr. Smart Olugbeko, and General Secretary Dr. Ahmed Lawan, listed non-action on the renegotiation of Asuu and federal government 2010 agreement, non-release of pledged 15 billion naira revitalization fund, and the federal government's recalcitrant insistence on the integrated payroll and personnel information system (IPPIS) against the more reliable University Transparency and Accountability Solution (UTAS) alternative. Also, the Joint Action Committee (JAC) of the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions (NASU) and the senior staff of Nigerian universities (SANU) have presented new payment platform to the federal government, with which they hope to be paid. Now, almost all of these institutions, the federal universities, or the government-owned universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education, they're all grounded. What's going to happen to the millions of young people who should be in school? Many Nigerians now prefer to send their children abroad. Go to Benin Republic, Chad, Niger. Nigerians are schooling there. And that's not because they don't want to school here. And that's not because they prefer those countries. No, it's because the educational sector is almost completely comatose. How can you send your child to school to graduate in 4 years, and in 6 years that child hasn't graduated? You send your child to school to graduate in 6 years, and in 9 years they haven't graduated. Some even 10. And people have said, well, the minister State for Education wants to be president when the schools are on strike. And he says, well, it is not their fault. They didn't enter the agreements. They entered an agreement with the past administration, and those administrations did not keep their keep it to the end of the bargain. They're also trying, they've done their best to see that it's resolved. The Minister of Labor and Employment says, well, he's also running for president. He says, well, he's done his best to resolve the issue with Asuu, but apparently Asuu is adamant. At the end of the day, these are the people who want to be president. They can't solve just one sector. They can't solve the problem with the higher institutions, the university lecturers. They can't handle the issue. How can they handle the issue of 200 million people? These are questions I beg for answer. We hear people say, oh, the Minister of Labor said, well, Nigerian doctors are leaving the country. Well, let them go. It's okay. They will come back better equipped and all. I don't think the people who really want to leave this country. This is a blessed country. Nigeria is a blessed country, and there's no place better than home. I've had interactions with a lot of people who live abroad, and they tell you all the time, look, they want to come back home, but the conditions are not favorable. Who wants to come back to a country where they can send their children to school and be sure that they will graduate? Who wants to come back to a country where the healthcare system is nothing to write home about? If we fix this country, a lot of people will sit back here. People wouldn't have a course to travel abroad or live abroad. They probably just go on vacation and come back. But things continue to deteriorate, and these same people are all in your faces again, canvassing, seeking to be one thing or the other. Governor, president, senator. These same people. Who's going to save this country? Now, the TUC, the Trade Union Congress, is saying they're also going to go on a strike if the federal government doesn't, resolve the issue with Asuu. NLC has threatened several times that they would down tool and all in all. We haven't seen that. TUC is also threatening now. Why is it so hard for Nigerians to make the sacrifice that's required for change to occur? Why is it so hard? Why are Nigerians so lackadaisical when it comes to issues that affect them in particular, that can turn their lives around? We just leave it for anybody, for other people, and the next man leaves it for the next man, and the next man leaves it, and then at the end of the day, nobody does it. Things continue to deteriorate. Things continue to get worse. You can join the conversation. Let me know your thoughts. 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. That is 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. You can send me a message on 090-9705-4450. That is 090-9705-4450. Now, the Senate has said they're intervening. The Senate has intervened in the issue. They're saying they want to find ways to resolve the issue with Asuu, and they promised that this issue would be resolved and students will go back home, go back to school. Let's not forget that this is not the first time. Asuu strike didn't start today. Growing up as a child in the 90s, I heard about Asuu strike. I never really understood what it was. Today, I'm a father myself, and I'm worried that my kid may also experience or hear about Asuu strikes. How long shall we continue to pass down this anomaly from generation to generation? Is that what we want to continue to do in this country? Why don't we solve these problems once and for all? All aspects of the economy. Power, almost zero. Fuel, energy, almost zero. Nigeria has no business importing fuel. Nigeria should have no business importing fuel. But what are we doing? Where are we? I mean, look at the fact that We don't even know how much crude oil is exported. We don't know, there's just a lot of things that are not right with us and needs to be addressed. And it behooves not the leadership of this country, but on the citizens, because the citizens are the most important, to change things. They say change begins with you. Are you ready to make the sacrifice that's required to turn things around? When people come to you and give you money for your votes, even as a delegate, are you ready to turn it down and say, no, I won't take this money, and I would rather choose a person who my conscience is, who I'm confident in? Or would you take the money and enjoy for the moment? $5,000 seems like a lot of money, especially for delegates. It seems like a price tag. $5,000 will be distributed during primaries, and people would choose those who they know lack the capacity to vote, turn around things in this country. But, well, who am I? I'm not even a delegate. Join the conversation and let's get talking.
Has anyone told you you can talk about your business on radio for just 15,000 naira? Get a chance to talk your business for 25 minutes on The Entrepreneur. Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja. For more inquiries, call 090-9984-4433. 090-9984-4433. The Entrepreneur. Talk your business for just 15,000 naira. This promo runs from May 1st to July 30th. Hurry now.
A stitch in time saves 9. Scratch that. How about saving the 9 for a stitch in time after all? Fashion keeps evolving. Trendy Stitches brings you the ladies and gentlemen trends, the runway, corporate space, couture, hair, makeup, and definitely do's and don'ts. If it's fashion, we're talking about it. Trendy Stitches every Wednesday, 11 a.m. with Olije on 102.3 Extra. Trendy Stitches, make your everyday a runway.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Abuja! Are you ready for this? Brace yourself up for the new sound of radio. Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
When the sun comes up, you know that it's time for the Sunny Side Show. With the Sunny Side Show crew, Itodo and Nene.
My name is Itodo.
And my name is Nene. Oh, wait, am I talking like this?
On the sunny side of things, weekdays 2 to 6 p.m. The Sunny Side Show. Tune in, you know you definitely want to.
They all are champions.
I am Aquaman.
But there are legends among champions.
I'll be back.
Hold your breath as the stars battle on Power Hour. Wednesday at 1 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja.
This is gonna be fun.
Power Hour. You win or you lose.
Who wants to be king?
Sweet as the whisper of a lover.
Calm as a night bird.
Talk, love, and relationship with Kemi Michael.
You got me sipping on something.
On the Eagles Night Live, weekdays, 8 p.m. to midnight.
Eagles Night Live. Leave, love, learn.
It's travel time. 3 lucky people stand a chance to win a trip to Kenya in the Techno Nigerian Idol Winner Trip promo. Buy the Techno Camon 18 or Phantom X smartphones and travel on an all-expense-paid trip with the winner of the Nigerian Idol Season 7. Also, get discounts of up to 10,000 naira on select Techno smartphones and gifts upon purchase. Promo runs till 5th of June. Visit at Techno Mobile NG on social media for more info. T's and C's apply. Techno, stop at nothing.
Eagles Morning Ride. Eagles Morning Ride.
live with
Prince.
It's
9:30 is the time. Thank you for leaving your dials locked here on your radio experience you can count on. Well, we're talking Asuu strike continues. Do you want to hand down this legacy of Asuu strike to the next generation? To the legacy, okay. Do you want to hand down Asuu strike to the next generation and have your children go through this? What's this happening? I just told you how, growing up as a child, I heard about it. And today I'm also worried that my kid may also have to experience that. It's quite sad. But join the conversation and let's talk. Let's fill your pause on all of the issues surrounding Asuu strike. Asuu, the colleges of education and as well as polytechnics almost have the same issues. They're saying, well, federal government entered an agreement with us and has reneged on those agreements. For how long would we continue like this? With almost all sectors of the economy collapsing and the custodians of those sectors just, going about the businesses seemingly unperturbed. I'd like to hear from you. 090 7353 0044 or 090 8766 8888. That is 090 7353 0044 and 090 8766 8888. You can send me a message on 090 9705 4450 090 9705 4450. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. Yes, good morning. I can hear you. What's your name? Uh-oh. The network did you in. Try to call me back. 090 7353 0044 and 09087668888. I'll be glad to read your messages on social media as well at Eagles FM Abuja. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you. What's your name?
Abubakar.
Abubakar, go ahead. Let's hear you, please.
Okay. Yeah, this strike. Well, I'm a graduate.
Okay.
But my younger ones are still in the university, so I actually feel the pain for them. And I think that's an old strategy for the ASU. They have been going on several strikes and nothing has been done. So for me, I feel like there are more ways for them. More ways for them to develop how to settle this issue with federal government, not by going strike, because I don't think that will solve the issue for them.
What ways would you suggest? What other means would you suggest for ASU to go to deploy?
Well, I may not say actually what ASU should do, but I think as intellectuals, they do have another way to maybe approach the government, not strike on strike, because that's an old strategy and it has not been working for them.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Abubakar.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you again. Now, Will, you're a student. How do you feel about the ASU strike? So I was, on Monday when the extension of the strike was announced, a colleague of mine, had to call her sister because she said, well, my sister has been worried and I just hope she doesn't slide into depression with this announcement. And she called her and somehow the sister was crying because she wanted to go back to school. She had thought that, from the meeting, ASU would just say, oh, the strike has been called off, and she would go back to school. I mean, a final year student. I mean, not just a final year student, a final semester student. She had just the final semester to go. But then she has to be at home for the strike started on the 14th of February, right? So it's over 2 months now, or 3 months now. Normally a semester should be about 4 months. So she should have been graduating maybe by next month, wrapping up her examinations and all. But she's still at home. And there are many other people who feel the same way. As a student, let me know what you think. What do you feel? Obakar says there are other ways that ASU could go about, resolving the issues with federal government, not just strike. Strike seems to be like an old strategy that may have lost its potency. So what can ASU and other, associations of, the educational institutions do to see that federal government responds to their agitations or just solve the problem entirely? Because we say this song all the time, and it's almost become like a joke where we say it. When two grasses fight or two elephants fight, the grass suffers. In this case, I don't know who the elephant is. I don't know who the grass is, because I know that lecturers are also not happy. I mean, think about the fact that the federal government had imposed a no work, no pay policy. So if you don't work, you don't get paid. And as they're saying, no, you can't do that. At the end of the day, both lecturers and students are losing out. Parents are losing out. I mean, imagine that you paid accommodation for your child and they had to stay at home throughout the period, for a really long time, and the rent expires and they have to go back to school. You have to pay another rent, right? You started your kids to go to school and then they're back at home with you. You have to spend more money, all of that. There's just a lot that people lose out on. And Chooks here says, fine morning to you, Ihanacho. Like I mentioned yesterday, there's hypocrisy in high places. Government saying one thing but meaning the exact opposite. Senate intends to bring ASU and the government back to the negotiation table. What table, I ask? Are the ministers of Labor and Education State available? Well, I wouldn't know now. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning.
I'm calling from.
What's your name? Okay. It seems like you forgot your name. Call me. Let me know what you think. Chooks here is asking, will the Minister of State be available? Will the Minister of Labor be available if you bring them back to the negotiation table? Let's not forget that they are on a mission to, get delegates to vote for them. So they're consulting around the nation. Hello, good morning.
Hello, well.
What's happening now? Would it be the network? Anyway, try to call me. Let's talk more. 09073530044 and 09087668888. Send me a message on 09097054450 if you can pull through the phone lines, because it seems like it's a little messy this morning. All right, Chooks again says, we all know these ministers are in the presidential race. Do you think they can still concentrate? And for crying out loud, how many senators' children are in public educational institutions? Well, that's a question that only the senators can answer. I don't have answers for that. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
I'm calling from Turkey.
You're calling from Turkey? Okay, seems like we would have to clear up the space. If you want to call us and talk with us, let us, make it clean. Do not have all the noise and distractions of the background. I'd love to hear from you, though. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. What's your name?
Sorry, my name is Joseph.
Joseph, where are you calling from?
Asokoro.
Asokoro, go ahead. Let's hear you, Joseph.
So, are they going to bring the permanent secretary back?
Say again?
Are they going to bring the permanent labor secretary back?
What secretary? Okay. Well, feels like there's a lot of mix-up here. I'll take more calls now. Hello, good morning. not good. Well, let's see that we can sort this out. I don't know why we have dropped calls and some like very unserious conversations going on. Let me know what your thoughts are. We're talking Asuu. Are you planning on having this continue? How long do we continue to have this Asuu situation or this strike situations? Because it's not just Asuu. The polytechnics are also going on strike. The colleges of education also threatening to go on strike. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'll be here.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
We have plans, we have visions.
And the conversation continues. This is your radio experience you can count on. Nigerian students are worried and disturbed about going back to school. They really want to go back to school, but the situation isn't, palatable. Asuu wouldn't go back to class. The lecturers wouldn't go back to class, and federal government hasn't resolved their issue. So the conversation continues, and we're asking, would you want to hand this over to your children? Would you want your children also to experience this? Are your children currently experiencing it? What is the situation like at home? Also, if you're a student who has been at home for quite a while now, what has this experience been for you? Let me know what your thoughts are. Now, some students are already, talking about shutting down the streets and making sure that the government feels their pulse and feels their pain, all of that, protest and all. Should we allow these things to degenerate to that level before we act? Recall what happened during the NSAS protest. Would we want such a thing to repeat? Shouldn't it be better solved and better handled now before situations degenerate? I'll bring in a caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
It's Mercy from Marava.
I didn't get your name. Say again.
Mercy from Marava.
Mike, go ahead. Let's hear you.
On our meeting on the strike, like, I don't even know how to start. It's just depressing. Like, the week I got admission, that was the same week the strike started. As in, it's so depressing. I'm tired of being at home. And, like, they don't even care. They don't even care how we're doing. They don't even care if we're even going to school. They're children are somewhere else abroad, schooling, some are private. But they just left us here stranded for what now, at least?
Well, I feel your pain. I know how painful it can be. I experienced it myself. But I would encourage you to, stay positive and don't allow the situation drown you, okay?
Yes.
Thank you so much for calling and sharing that experience and that thoughts. Now, imagine a child or a person who had spent 5 years waiting to get admission, and they finally get admission, and the next thing, as he goes on strike, they're at home for another 1 year or another 9 months. Recall that the last one before now was 9 months, and students were at home through the period, even though they didn't feel it so much because there was a lockdown and all. Many Nigerian students are not happy.
We not only come out and shut down the streets and ask the government to do the needful, we also implore all our colleagues across the country to fight for this.
With this disheartened mind to meet ourselves in a state like this, that education in the 21st century still suffers in the hand of the careless leaders that we have elected, and the job that we send them to do, they are doing otherwise. And it is so disheartening that we students, we have been frustrated and our visions have been cut short. We have dreams, we have plans, we have future. Why is government doing us like this? They are so myopic, and they can't see the future in our presence. We have plans, we have visions. We are the future of this country. Is this how they treat their children? We must take, and that is why we are here, because we are not more taking it lightly with them. And if the government is not careful, we will shut down the street, we will hit the street, and we will make life miserable for them.
And that's the Nigerian students there lamenting, expressing their pain. Should we allow these things continue like this? The popular opinion is that, well, there's a conspiracy against the ordinary Nigerian by the elite. They have their children study abroad, and the children of the ordinary man doesn't get an education, so that they would and the children and children's children would continue to rule and lead ordinary Nigerians that will continue to occupy GC positions across the country. While that may be some conspiracy theory, many Nigerians believe it, and it seems like the truth because that's what they see. The children of the elite don't study here, when they study abroad and come back home, they get good jobs. But the children of the ordinary Nigerian, what do? They go to school and go through strikes, stay back at home for many months without having to go to school. And when they finally graduate, their certificates can't even get them jobs. It's really sad. Chooks here adds, exactly, Hanacho, the senators can only attempt something, all simply grow thick skins and see this government out, hoping and praying for ourselves to vote with our senses next year. God help us when voting time comes around. Thank you so much, Chooks. And well, I would continue to beg and hope that things change. But while things are the way that they are, I encourage students to stay hopeful and stay positive. Don't allow the situation drown you. It can be bad, it can be frustrating, but don't allow the frustration get the best part of you. If you can, as much as you can, engage yourself in anything positive to while, as time goes by, so that you don't allow your mind, stray into negative things. Okay? I'll leave you now and I'll hand you over to Olije.
Hi.
Hi, Olije.
It's
Good
the
morning.
way you introduce the name for Olije. Nacho. What's up?
I'm all right. What's happening with you?
Everything is good. I heard you talking about.
Do you have relatives who are at home as a result of this strike?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Are they eating much?
So the thing is, they're busy though.
How are they feeling? Like, how does it feel? Because I remember the one time there was this 6-month strike while I was in school, and look,
6 months.
I hated that period of my life.
6 months.
Like, you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly, certificate sometimes, but not. I mean, it depends because the person whom because you asked about relative being at home. The particular person that I know is actually waiting to clear her, defend her results. She's done but she's waiting for the external guys to clear.